Imagine opening your fridge and seeing a frog chilling in your milk. No, it's not a weird prank, it was once a legit preservation method. Centuries ago in Russia and Finland, people dropped frogs into fresh milk to stop it from spoiling. Why? Because the frog skin secretes natural antimicrobial peptides, basically tiny warriors that fight off bacteria. One Russian scientist, Boris Zhukov, even found that European frogs produce up to 76 different antimicrobial compounds, powerful enough to kill E. coli. So before fridges, one slimy little amphibian acted like a tiny ninja. No sword, no armor, just vibes and antibacterial skin. While Russians had frog milk ninjas, others simply buried their food. In cold regions, digging a hole and burying meat kept it cool like a natural freezer. But there was always a risk, like digging it up months later, and realizing you just excavated your ancestor's pet, not dinner. Take Iceland's famous harkal, fermented Greenland shark meat. It's buried for months, then air-dried before eating. The result? A dish so pungent it can test your soul. People describe it as gym socks soaked in ammonia. If you manage to eat a piece without crying, congratulations, you might be a Viking at heart. Before refrigeration, ancient people experimented with some extreme methods. One of them, fermenting food with urine. Yep, the ancient Romans made a sauce called garum by fermenting fish in a mix that included animal urine. They believed the acidity helped speed up fermentation and enrich the flavor. Garum was so valued, the wealthy flaunted it like we show off luxury cars today. And it wasn't just the Romans. In some regions, urine was used to soak eggs, bleach flour, and, brace yourself, even whiten teeth. What kind of urine? Typically from animals like goats or cows, whose diets made their urine less acidic and milder in smell. Some texts even mention virgin boy urine being used in rare medicinal or fermenting practices in imperial China. Yikes! However, so next time your fridge breaks, take a deep breath and be thankful we've moved on. In ancient Egypt, honey wasn't just for dessert, it was for preservation. Mummies, preserved in oils and resins. Meat, sometimes preserved in honey. Why? Because honey is naturally antimicrobial. It blocks moisture and kills bacteria, basically a sweet barrier between your food and decay. Archaeologists have found jars of honey in tombs over 3,000 years old, and they're still edible. So if you're prepping a snack for your great-great-grandkids, skip the fridge. Just drown it in honey and hope for the best. Sometimes ancient people didn't bury, soak, or ferment their food. They just hung it up. Drying meat in open air, under sun and wind, became one of the oldest, simplest preservation hacks. Beef jerky, prosciutto, fish flakes, all thanks to this method. But it came with risks. Hang it too low, and rats or dogs might get a taste. Hang it too high, and now you have to climb like Spider-Man just to make dinner. Still, the method was genius. No tools, no chemicals, just air. Call it lazy. We call it elegantly efficient. Salt, the OG preservative. Long before seasoning your fries, salt was used to preserve fish, meat, and even vegetables. It dries out moisture, kills bacteria, and made food safe for long journeys. Roman soldiers carried salted pork. Sailors crossed oceans with barrels of salted cod. But early preservation wasn't subtle. Some meat was so salty you'd feel like you were chewing a salt lick with beef flavor. No wonder people drank so much wine, not to party, but to wash down the salt. In cold climates, people realized, why not just let winter do the work? So they left meat, fish, and leftovers outside to freeze. It worked. Frozen food didn't spoil, and nature took care of it for free. But it wasn't perfect. 1. Food turned into frozen bricks. 2. Waiting for it to thaw was like waiting for a text back, slow and agonizing. And 3. Wildlife. Nothing like waking up to find a bear stole your frozen roast. Still, compared to urine fermented fish, frozen meat suddenly seems delicious. While some buried food to keep it fresh, others let it rot on purpose. Fermentation, the art of controlled decay, turned milk into cheese, cabbage into sauerkraut, and soybeans into miso. Even caught, it was stinky, slimy, and magical. Cultures all over the world embraced it. Even stinky tofu, a dish that smells like garbage but tastes like heaven, apparently. The trick? Knowing when to stop the rot. Too early, it's bland. Too late, it's biological warfare. Fermentation walked a fine line, but when it worked, it turned survival into cuisine. Who needs electricity when you've got winter? Before fridges, people in cold regions just tossed food outdoors, and thawing food was an ordeal. A frozen steak took hours to soften, long enough to question your life choices. Still, better frostbite than a mouthful of ammonia fish. So here's to the ancient foodies who looked at a blizzard and thought, perfect, let's preserve dinner. If these bizarre ancient food preservation methods made you laugh, cringe, or maybe question your next trip to the fridge, just know there's plenty more where that came from. So don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more wild, weird, and wonderful food stories from around the world. We'll see you in the next culinary time travel adventure.